I'm Lee Scully. I'm an associate investment advisor at Bishop Cross-Border Investment Services. This is Stephen Bishop, founding member of our group. We specialize in helping Americans moving to Canada with U.S. accounts and vice versa. Today we're going to discuss how that really works. And the way I look at it is that physically moving across the border is a bit more simple than what happens with your investments and your accounts. When you come across the border, it doesn't necessarily mean your accounts can or do. I think that's what people in the early innings of exploring what their options are, I think they interpret things as if they've got to bundle everything up and haul it across the border. That makes sense for a U-Haul trailer,
or they think they can just leave it.
Or they think they can just leave it. So
there's two issues that they have to get their heads around with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the issue is that the regulatory systems, the licensing requirements for firms and advisors, it's all very different in both countries. So when someone moves to Canada and they've got, let's say, a 401k or an IRA, it's often problematic for their current institution to keep that because they might not be licensed to deal with a Canadian resident, right?
Yeah.
So then when people come through our doors and ask us our thoughts, they often say, I'd like to move this to Canada, or how can I move this to Canada? Which isn't necessarily the way to think about it. It's a great question. It's a very logical question.
It should be more about, how do I deal with this?
Exactly. That's the question.
I'm moving to Canada. I'm moving to, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, whatever. And how do I deal with this? Because my brokerage firm in the United States told me that if I do this, that they can't deal with me anymore.
Right.
So what do I do?
Right.
It's probably not how can I move it, because they can't.
Exactly.
They can't move it. Yeah.
And there are options, right?
Well, they can.
They can, but it's very expensive, right? Because moving it basically means, in the case of a registered tax-deferred account, basically means triggering all the tax, taking a penalty if you're under 59 and a half. And
you don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that. And most people are unaware that you don't have to do that. Because the other option is you leave it where it is and hope nothing happens. That's not what we suggest doing, because that can create problems, headaches. That'll catch up with you down the road. And then the third option is find someone that's licensed to deal with you as a Canadian resident. So for us, for example,
which is what we do.
Yeah, so we can open an IRA, transfer between institutions, not across borders, between institutions, right?
Yeah, it's actually, when you think about it, from our perspective, when you think about it, they just need to find someone who's licensed to do the work, which we are. So we're licensed to do the work in Canada, and we're licensed to do the work in the United States. So they just need to find that person or that group, let's say, and then they just need to transfer the IRA accounts or the 401s or whatever, just from the current brokerage firm in the U.S. to Raymond James USA Limited in the U.S.
That's right.
So, but there's a small selection of people and firms that can actually do that work.
And that's because it is fairly complicated on the ground level, and it is, you'd have to have quite a few different sets of licensing and the experience to know how to do it without making costly mistakes for the client, right? So, and not a lot of firms have that.
Most do not have that.
Most don't.
That's right. It's a specialized thing, but if the individuals find us or someone like us, it's just mechanical.
Yep.
It's really not that complicated for us. It just really becomes a mechanical type of process. Problem solving,
puzzle solving,
problem solving.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
and I guess the rule of thumb is pretty much, if it's a tax deferred or tax advantaged account, it normally stays in the States. If it's a taxable brokerage account, that one is different. That one technically would have to, close down and open up on the other side, on the Canadian side. So
it's different. Treat it differently because of the registered accounts are more like a trust or a pension type of a.
It's like a retirement
It's
plan.
like, yeah, and those the way those are set up is they have to stay domiciled where they are, whereas the taxable accounts, or the typical brokerage accounts, can't stay where it is because the rules are that brokerage firm can't deal with them. And even though the IRAs and the 401s that the client has, we can take those and move them from the current brokerage firm over to Raymond James USA Limited. Mm-hmm. We can't take a taxable brokerage account and keep it in the States because now those people are residents of Canada.
Exactly.
So then we have to open up a taxable brokerage account on the Raymond James Canada platform, mm-hmm. and then just transfer it from the brokerage in the States to the Raymond James Canada platform. So there's a couple of pieces to it, but it's still, for us, it's just, like I say, it's mechanical.
We've got the playbook, right?
Yeah.
At the account level, there are certain rules. Every account is a bit different, and there's certain ways to do or to think about each one. And then also, if you open up the hood underneath what's in each account, that sometimes matters too. So certain types of mutual funds.
Yeah, the rules.
Yeah.
The securities treaties rules and the mutual fund rules and the IRS.
Annuities.
And
a lot of
there's
people
rules.
There are rules.
There's different rules, but we know what the rules are, and so but again, it's like it's to find the people to do the work.
Exactly.
And that have the platforms mm-hmm. to do the work, and have the licensing.
That's right.
Licensing for the advisors to do the work, and then it's just a matter of, what do they call it? An organizational flow chart. Mm-hmm. What are we doing with these boxes? And
right.
Yeah, but but the stuff just doesn't come with you, if that's what the point is.
Not quite that easy. Not that simple. But
there's a
playbook. There's a recipe.
Yep. There's a solution.
Yep.
You can get it done and not find yourself in a situation with a huge tax burden.
That's right.
And that's the last thing a person wants to do is to be in a position where they feel they have to collapse those IRA accounts and pay the tax on it. Or it doesn't have to happen.
Conversely, if they've figured things out on their own and sort of kind of shoved things to the side and haven't dealt with things properly, for example, keeping different accounts with an old address, or keeping certain types of mutual funds in certain accounts that don't play nice together, that can really build up a pretty significant liability over time if it's left untreated. So someone in that mindset, I think their first step would be reach out.
You need to
talk to someone.
You need to get the advice to have all the pieces looked at.
Yeah.
And advice on each one, like the business about the mutual funds. In our case, we just need to know what people have.
That's right.
And then we can say, okay, this has to happen like this, and that has to happen like that, and this is why, and so on. And that business about the thinking that you can leave things under a address in the United States after you've changed your residency to Canada, that's just wrong.
That's a common one.
It's because that's provided a short-term, a Band-Aid solution to the problem, but that is something that can create a much bigger problem than what the Band-Aid can do. It's what do they call it? Willful blindness. You know that you're not supposed to do it, but you do it anyway. Mm-hmm. So when things do catch up to you, it can be a lot worse.
Definitely.
And we can talk to people about that, but people don't need to do that.
No.
Right? There's solutions, and people can get this done properly and all above board, and we're here to help. We can do it, and that's what we do.
That's what we do.
What we do every day.
We get people the right information. If they want to pursue our services, they can do that.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
So it's not hard for us.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's a good discussion on how moving assets actually works, because it is a bit more complex, but we've been doing it long enough where we've got the right playbook for it, and we help people do that.
Yep. It's an overview, and for more information, anyone can reach out and contact us and ask for a meeting, a virtual meeting, and we can explain it in more detail.
Send us an email, give us a call, reach out.